Mike in front, right, dead ahead. The front row. Front row, right here. You're good.
Good morning, guys. How you doing?
Great. How are you doing?
Hey everyone, welcome back to Arte Suave no Canadá. So today we're diving into a hot topic that's got the Jiu-Jitsu world buzzing. So Mikey Musumeci recently spoke out about the use of steroids in Jiu-Jitsu, and his speech is shaking things up. So let's listen what Mikey had to say, and let's roll the clip up.
I'm good. Just made weight. Life is awesome.
Well, obviously, it's been a big, like a lot of fans have been very excited for this partnership with you and UFC Fight Pass. But I guess, how's it been for you? Because obviously we knew you in one championship and everything. You've done media there, you've done press conferences there, but to do it like stateside in what many consider the fight capital of the world and the biggest combat sports promotion, just how's life been since the announcement to like now?
Oh my God. So yeah, the first thing I'll say is I'm very used to doing media and stuff in Asia, right? But being home doing it in America, you know, it's been surreal. It's been so cool interacting with Americans now. And I live in Vegas, so this is like 10 minutes from my house. So it's really an awesome experience. But also, again, to grow my brand now in the US, it's been incredible. I'm so blessed for this opportunity.
What's the biggest difference doing media here and over in Singapore?
I think very similar. I just think that American culture is a little different than Asia, you know, so it's just, but I feel like I'm my authentic self with Asia or America. I don't really care who I'm being interviewed. I just stay who I am. So I maybe say more hell yeah when I'm getting interviewed by Americans, but that's pretty much the difference.
And, you know, there are people that they only watch the UFC. They don't watch One, they don't watch Ryzen, they don't watch Bellator. They only watch UFC and sometimes only pay-per-view. So I guess, did you notice that fans were aware of you in America when they signed? Did you feel excitement from the fans, or were they just like, I don't know who this is, and it was just another signing that the UFC announced?
Yeah, so that's a crazy thing. When I signed with UFC, I was in New York City at the Madison Square Garden event. And when I was walking to my hotel, I got bombarded by fans. I think I was outside for like over 2 hours taking pictures, you know, and they were all so excited that now I'm with the UFC, you know. So I feel like it was almost like American culture, like the Americans are like happy now that I'm with the American company, right? But yeah, UFC is the biggest company in the world, and I'm beyond grateful now that I could be a part of the UFC. But for grappling, you know, like we could start a new part of our sport of grappling with the UFC, the biggest platform in the world. And that's tremendous responsibility for me. And I'm just so grateful for it, but I'm also so eager to keep us on this platform, to keep grappling growing, and for UFC to keep investing in grappling.
Do you feel like you're the face of grappling in America then? Because like you feel pressure to grow this sport alongside the UFC? Because obviously Gordon Ryan, everyone knows, and we just had CGI, but like to be on the UFC and be on Fight Pass, and you just did a weigh-in and the Apex. Like, do you feel pressure to carry that flag for the American audience?
I put a lot of extra pressure on myself, so I for sure feel so much pressure right now because I really my goal is that when I was a kid growing up, I had no dream of doing jiu-jitsu. I didn't know any path to do jiu-jitsu. So when I looked at jiu-jitsu, there was no money or anything. My mom's like, shut up, go to law school or medical school. Like, what are you doing in this sport? You know, so I want kids to grow up and have like a platform set for them that they could have a career. You know, they could be professional athletes and they could follow their dream or passion. You know, so that's my dream now, to be able to give them that. So I feel tremendous responsibility. Other people like Gordon, Craig, they definitely help the sport grow in different ways. But I feel like what I'm doing right now is definitely the most important thing for grappling in terms of having a stable platform. You know, I feel like a lot of jiu-jitsu right now is very unstable. There's a lot of horrible ethics, morals, and I hope now that with UFC we could change that and we can make it a professional sport, because it hasn't been a professional sport, jiu-jitsu, with people just talking about, like, they blatantly use PEDs, like they're not athletes, you know, so they really don't have the values of martial artists, you know. So I really just want to change that and give us this platform on UFC and become professionals.
And just last one for me, because you know when you're tied to the UFC, everyone's going to ask you, when are you going to make your MMA debut and everything? Yeah. But you did an interview where you said you want to grow this sport first before you want to make the sport. So is there an end goal in growing jiu-jitsu? Is like what in your mind is like, we've done it? Is that, do you have that envision?
Yeah.
Is it an arena? Is it like multiple pay-per-views? Like what is your end goal?
Yeah, so I definitely have interest in doing MMA. I was doing Muay Thai this morning. Like I do Muay Thai all the time. It's super fun for me. Like I've done Muay Thai the same amount of years as Jiu-Jitsu as a kid. I started with Muay Thai and Jiu-Jitsu. So I love Muay Thai and I really want to venture into that. But for me, I feel that God gave me this gift and path of Jiu-Jitsu. And I need to first grow us in UFC to the point where we are professional athletes. What does that look like to me? That looks like we have belts. We have everything just like MMA fighters. Drug testing and belts and stability. Yes, drug testing. We need drug testing. Completely make Darwinism with the people on steroids that they either have to just get off and they either die, adapt, or they adapt. And then the next generation realizes that they can't just start steroids when they're like 10 years old. So I want to change that. That will give me the most fulfillment. And then for myself, and I'll really enjoy venturing into other things, but I don't know how long that will take, but I just have to give my full effort right now to jiu-jitsu. I keep improving every day, and I'm just eager to keep improving and to keep growing our sport.
Have you told the UFC of like these goals you want to do, and have they been on board with the drug testing and the belts and everything?
Of course they are, because they want to make this professional also, like UFC is a professional company. Like this way that we've been in jiu-jitsu, we've been amateurs, we really are just like in this barbaric amateur phase of jiu-jitsu. And now UFC is starting something professional, so I'm so blessed for them for putting the effort into jiu-jitsu to change it, and I'm so eager for them to do that.
Mike, you over here to your left. To your left right here.
Oh.
Right here. How's it going?
Apparently I don't know what my left is, sorry.
I know a lot of fans in the grappling world were really excited for that match between you and Cade Ruotolo that was supposed to take place. Is that something you still would like to get back one day further down the line, whether it's under any other tournament or something like that?
Yeah, definitely. I was really confident with the match with Cade, and I was really pissed off that it didn't happen. I thought it was really unfair of him for accepting the match a month before CGI. Considering how tough of a tournament that was for him and how much that's going to destroy his body. It wasn't really a good play for him to choose to fight me like 3 weeks after, like a month after. So, and then he pulls out. So I just felt like that was kind of messed up that he did that. He didn't message me or anything, and then his attitude after I didn't really like. But yeah, I would love to have a match with him. I prepared a year to have a match with him. I was in camp for so long, so that's why I have some frustration with that. I really like Cade. We were friends for like a while, so it'd be an honor to grapple with the best lightweight in the world. I'm always looking to challenge myself and push myself, and I know that would be a great challenge for me. And I hope in the future me and him could get that match in, because I was so ready for the match in September.
Sure. Now, speaking of CGI, obviously it was a great success in terms of for the growth of the overall sport of grappling, and a lot of people attribute that to the pit style they went with. So, are you a fan of that? Because I know a lot of the guys on FPI said that they'd like to see pit style matches going forward here.
Yeah, 100%. I've been pushing them to do pits also. I think that this way of with the mats without any walls is outdated now, because people could run away. They could use that as an advantage. So you'll see a lot of people in in the past, they'll place themselves at the edge of the mat, so anything that happens, they could just fall off the mat. So that's not good for us in grappling. So we need to change that ASAP, and they're working on that for sure. So yeah, we need to get rid of that. And Craig was so great using the pit from Karate Combat. So that was a great innovation he gave to our sport.
Sure. And when Dana announced your signing on social media, he mentioned that you're going to be the first of many guys and girls that they want to bring over here under exclusive contract. So who are some guys and girls that you think would be a great fit to come over here and help continue grow the sport?
People not on steroids. That's pretty much what I would say. But 99% of jiu-jitsu is on steroids, so at least let them get off steroids a little bit, like a few months. They probably need like a year, like 6 months to adjust, and then maybe they could adjust with Darwinism. But yeah, I would love to see maybe the Ruotolos, because they are great ambassadors of our sport. I was just salty that Cade pulled out, but I love Cade. He's awesome. But yeah, I think that me, Ruotolos, A few other people, but I think that's probably the first like 3 people that come to my mind, because of what we represent with jiu-jitsu, not taking steroids. We're more martial artists than the generation that we're in right now.
And lastly, how will it feel for you to see the growth of the dark rigatoni fan base in the U.S.?
Oh, it's gonna be awesome. I think that's so cool. Being in your own country and getting like recognition from fans, and but when I think about it, I don't really think about it for myself. I just think about it as responsibility for me, because every time I grow my name and my brand, I could use that to help us grow our sport. So I just see it as more motivation for me to keep going, keep training harder, keep getting better, and to keep using that for God and to follow the path that God has for me.
Hey, Mikey, right up here. Mikey, this year, obviously personally for you, it's huge, but in general with Jiu-Jitsu, I mean, you've got more tournaments, more big events, more money, more showcases, and once upon a time, like you brought it up, there just wasn't a big future, like to have a career. You own a school, or maybe you go into MMA, but just strictly Jiu-Jitsu, the big future wasn't there. Can you describe just how big this year has been for the sport in general around the world?
Yeah, so definitely. Jiu-Jitsu, again, like we just said before, the tournaments you made 0 money from. So you had to do seminars, you had to own a gym, you had to switch to MMA because there's literally no money in our sport. So you have people sacrificing their whole bodies and lives, doing this one thing that you're not even making money. It's kind of sad to think about, right? So this year now, with like the CGI, with $1 million tournament, with one championship even making it more professional, with how everything is growing with professional grappling. It's been growing, it's been skyrocketing, So to the point now where UFC is finally getting on board, where now they're investing in it, and now it will become now it's going to be a professional sport, So it's been amazing to watch the growth of Jiu-Jitsu, Probably one day there'll be a movie about this whole growth of Jiu-Jitsu, how it started to now.
I know fans really love that you're a proponent of, hey, the whole aspect of Jiu-Jitsu is the smaller athlete can defeat a bigger one. And talking about, dealing with guys who do PEDs, do you have a worst, like, hey, my opponent is juiced up, and just having to deal with that in a competition when you're out on the mat?
What is your question? Sorry.
I guess having to deal with,
Oh, how to deal with them? Or
yeah, like,
is it
or
frustrating?
your worst story that you've ever had to deal with, like, man, this guy's juiced up and it's just unfair.
My whole life. I'll start a match with the people on steroids, and I'll be like, what the fuck? He feels like a rock. Like their bodies just feel like super solid, right? But then I think about Dan Gable. He's like one of my idols, and he talks about those people that cheat and take shortcuts. And I never cheated or took a shortcut, so I have a stronger mind than all those people. So I knew that if I used my mind against theirs, my mind is always going to be stronger than theirs, So I always overcame those people my whole career in Jiu-Jitsu, and it made it even more special to me knowing that those people are all cheating. But at the same time, I can't stay quiet about that, because if I stay quiet about that, then it's just going to continue. It's just going to continue. So I feel like that's a test from God to me, that I see bad, and do I stay quiet just to have more friends in my life? Or do I speak up, have more enemies, more people hating me, but I can make a difference? So that's why I talk about this. That's why I say this.
Nick?
Mikey, you've been very outspoken about mental health and well-being. What message do you have to young men that are struggling to speak out?
Yeah, so when I speak about mental health, it's not about myself speaking about mental health, I don't want people to think I'm just complaining, I'm whining. Why I speak about mental health is when I compete, I don't show you guys perfection. I show you guys what I'm struggling with, the obstacles I have in my life. Because everyone's battling their own obstacles in their life, So I feel like this false life that we live on social media, where everyone's just trying to look how happy they are, how amazing their lives are, I think that it's so fake, and that makes even people feel even darker. So when I talk about depression, my obstacles, I want to show everyone that I'm battling things every day, and not more than anyone else. Everyone's battling their things in their life, but I just want to show that I'm battling them and I'm still out there competing. And you could overcome everything that you have in your life as an obstacle. So that's why I speak out about it, and that's why I want to help others speak out about it. And us sharing our experiences and our pains and our obstacles that we're going through, we can all help each other overcome them. I see it like God gave me these obstacles and I'm strong enough to overcome them. Now it's up to me to share my obstacles with others to give them the strength to overcome them. You know, so that's why I do that. Oh, thank you.